Beautuber cut. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Look, I got a background. I finally got a backdrop. I'm so excited. I really need to film some videos and I'm not feeling my best. So I put on really bright makeup to try to pretend like I feel okay. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm gonna try to cut out all my sniffling and things like that. I actually really wish I filmed this makeup because I really like it. It's really cool. But anyway, I did not. And you guys wanna know what I'm doing? Today I'm doing the Beautuber Origins Tag, and this was created by Smacy. I'm sure you all know who she is. She is just so funny. She cracks me up when I watch her videos, and I feel like we have pretty similar like thoughts on things and like personalities and stuff, and I really like to watch her. And I will leave her channel and her video linked below as if you haven't already seen it, but I thought this was really cool because this is kind of a good way to get to know. So she says she calls us Beautubers because that's obviously what we do, is like beauty stuff. This is a way to kind of get to know us outside of just makeup and stuff like that. So there are 10 questions and I'm just gonna hop in. I have my notebook right here, so when I'm looking down, I'm just making sure I'm reading the question right. Oh my god, I'm freezing. All right, so number one is, when did you start wearing makeup? I started wearing makeup just for fun, pretty young, probably around like age 10 or so, because my mom was selling Mary Kay for a little while, so I would kind of like play around with her stuff a little bit, but I mean nothing crazy, nothing that I wore out of the house or anything like that. When I really started wearing makeup, I would say I was probably, I had to have been 12 or 13 when I really started wearing makeup out of the house. It was a little different for me. I was allowed to because I was homeschooled from 7th grade on, so I wasn't like wearing makeup to school or anything like that, but my makeup was a lot different than it is now. I have learned a lot and I've come a lot further, and if I can find any pictures, I will pop them up for you. Hi, so I'm freezing and sitting here and editing my video, and I tried so hard to find some decent pictures from my teenage years to put in here about how I used to do my makeup, and I had a really hard time with that. So I did find a few like actual photos that I have that I took pictures of, but any pictures you're about to see are going to be blurry and not a good representation of how I used to wear my makeup, but it's all I could find. So, okay, you can get back to the video now. When I first started wearing makeup, it was a lot darker. I wore like a lot of black eyeliner, and yeah, I don't know. I've always liked it. I've always worn it. I just never really knew how to use it, but I didn't know that. Number two is, why did you start wearing makeup? I could close this window. You guys are gonna hear all the background noise. Okay, I'm back. So I started wearing makeup because, I don't know, I just liked it. I found it interesting, and I didn't love my face and I wanted to change it, and that's just always how I've been. Like, oh, how can I make myself look better? I don't know. I liked it. It was a fun thing to do and wear, and yeah. Number three is, how did you wear your makeup in the beginning? And a follow-up is, what was your makeup inspiration? So I kind of just said in the beginning, I wore a lot of like black eyeliner. I wore like a full coverage foundation and concealer. Did I wear concealer? I can't even remember if I wore concealer. It might have just been foundation. I remember my friend and I, we always used that. I think it was a CoverGirl like blue compact, and it had like a cream foundation in it, and it was like super full coverage, and both her and I like always wore that. And then I would put on like my dark eyeliner and maybe some like silver eyeshadow. I don't even know. There was a point in time where I was kind of like splitting my eyeshadow up, so I would wear like, my favorite colors are red and black. Always have been. I just love them. And I would put like red here and then like black on the outside, but just like on this part, the lower part of my lid, and call it a day. Or sometimes a different color, but mostly dark makeup. And I never wore anything on my lips. I didn't wear like lipstick or anything. Okay, so I loved Avril Lavigne growing up. I just loved her style. I wished that I could be like her, and I wanted to. I've always been so scared to just do what I want to do and wear what I want to wear and whatever, so I kind of kind of had that like punky style going on for a while. Like I wore like, you know, the skater shoes and the skinny jeans and studded belts and the black makeup, and I had my hair dyed black a lot of the time, or just like different things going on with my hair. But yeah, so that was quite the phase. Number 4 is, what about your early life foreshadowed your inevitable YouTube channel? So this question is actually really hard for me because I never would have thought in a million years that I would have a, oh, hello. Yeah, I'm sitting here playing with my strings, my ADHD, hi. I never would have thought in a million years that I would have a YouTube channel. I don't even really think that there was anything that really brought it on. Not that I can think of, because like looking back, I've always been shy and quiet and not really wanting to be the center of attention, not wanting to put myself out there. I did really enjoy dance, and I knew that I was, you know, pretty good at it. So I always enjoyed that and being the spotlight in dance, but I never had to speak. I didn't have to do anything. And when there was one year in dance where they like, our recital was on my birthday, and they like called me up and sang happy birthday to me on stage, and it was like the most horrifying moment of my entire life. And then my friend, this is gonna be the longest video ever. I'm super chatty apparently. My friend Megan and I started a YouTube channel, which was not makeup. We did do like a following and a Nikki tutorials video, but that's kind of it. We were doing like vlogs and challenge videos and stuff like that, and I started having a lot of fun with it, and then we kind of just ran out of time. And I just decided to start my own channel, and it kind of just happened, and I got really positive feedback from a lot of people, and it like helped pull me out of the depression that I had, and I kind of just, I needed something to do because I'm a stay-at-home mom, and this was it. I never would have thought that I would have ended up with a YouTube channel. Number 5, do you ever regret starting your channel, or do you ever get discouraged with it? No. I mean, I've never regretted starting my channel. I do get discouraged sometimes, but it mostly involves like the technical aspect of everything, because everybody that I've met on here has been so nice and so encouraging, and it's really just frustrating when, you know, I'm recording on my phone, so I need to get my videos from my phone to my computer, and that's kind of hard for me. A lot of the time I actually just figured out a new way to do it, thanks to my girl Carmelita Jaymes. She kind of told me to get Google Drive and try to do it that way, and it's actually working out. Except all my videos come out upside down when I put them in my editing system, and then I have to like flip them. And then I also get discouraged because I see, you know, a lot of people's videos with like all their cool like little editing things where they like, oh hi, I have lipstick on my hand, where they like throw different things in there, and they like do like all the cool effects and like stuff like that that I just don't know how to do. And because I have kids and a home to take care of, like editing my videos takes up so much of my time as it is just to get them out there, that I don't have time to learn how to do all those other things, and that's like a little bit discouraging because I feel like my videos could be a lot better, but I just don't have the time to put in to do it right now, if that makes sense. Number 6, what are your other interests besides YouTube? So I obviously spend a lot of time with my kids, so obviously my kids are my main interest, but other than that, I really like to draw. I've always been, you know, pretty artistic. I thought about going to art school, and then I actually didn't. So and then also I have given myself and my husband all of the tattoos that we have, so that's something I enjoy doing. Just I don't do, obviously not a professional, they're not perfect, but this is one of them which needs to be touched up. This was just, okay, so 8/3/17, that's the date that my dad passed away, and then I found a card he gave me like years ago on my birthday and copied how he signed his name, and I tattooed that on my wrist. So that's one of them. Number 7, what's your biggest irrational fear? So I would probably say, I mean, obviously like everybody has all the normal fears, but for like an irrational fear, I would say is moths. I know it's so weird, but I just hate moths. I hate them. I can't stand like when you walk outside in the summertime and your outside light is on and they're just swarming out there, or like when the big ones land on your screens. Like I don't know where you guys are from. I'm from the East Coast, so like there's like, oh my god, oh, I hate them. I hate them so much. And when there was a time that I took a trip to Nicaragua with church people. I was like young, I was 12, with like church people and my mom and everything, and there was a moth like bigger than my head in our hotel room in Nicaragua, and we literally thought it was a bat because it was just flapping around all over the floor, and we thought there was a bat in our room, and it was just me and my little brother that were in there, and we had to call my mom back, and it was terrifying. I do not like moths. They're disgusting, and no, I can't handle it. I know it's weird, but I just can't help it, okay? Number 8, where are you from? Like country, city, what type of place? I grew up in Maine, technically. I'm from Maine, a small town in Maine, which, oh God, I just love Maine so much, and I wish I could go back there. But I grew up in a small town in Maine, and I lived there until I was 11. So technically, yes, I'm from Maine. That's where I remember growing up. And then at 11, we moved to Vegas. If you guys want to hear my whole life story, please comment down below and I will make a video just explaining everything. Technically, yes. Technically, I'm from Maine, from a small town, but I did spend many years in a city as well, in Las Vegas. So do with that what you will. Number 9, what fact about you might shock your viewers if they found out? This one is a little bit hard for me because I feel like I don't really have anything shocking, you know, like I've talked about the things that might shock people, you know, like getting pregnant at a young age. I haven't really talked about my whole like runaway situation. I was not a great kid, but I feel like that's a very long story. And like I said, if you guys want to hear more about that, I will open up about it. I will talk about it, but I just feel like this video is not the time for that. So just let me know, because it's kind of a lot. I could do like a get ready with me and just tell you the story or whatever. Just let me know. So I don't think that this is going to shock anybody, but it kind of shocked me. So I recently just got diagnosed with ADHD, which I kind of figured that I had, but at the same time, when I think of ADHD, I think of, you know, all the little boys that you see that are just like very hyper and just, you know, that type of thing. I don't know how to explain it. See, this is my brain. So I started seeing a therapist, and for what my doctor was calling anxiety, and apparently it's not anxiety, and apparently in a lot of women now have been getting late diagnosed with ADHD because doctors mix it up with anxiety because women show such different symptoms than men do. So yes, I do have ADHD, and I am trying a medication to try to help me out because I actually had to stop my college. Well, this isn't the only reason, but I was getting very frustrated because I can't retain any information. I was having, even when I went to public school growing up, I had a very hard time in school retaining any information and things like that. And now in my adult life, I would try to pretend, you know, I was hiding it because I was so embarrassed because somebody can be talking to me and I'm just looking straight through them and they think that they're having a conversation with me and my mind is completely somewhere else. And I was telling my therapist all of these things and she was like, let's do a little test. So we did a little test. There's like a side for the attention, and then there was another set of questions for the hyperactivity. And she's like, you know, if you answer afterwards, she told me like if you answer 5 or more or something like that as a yes, then it's more than likely that you have ADHD. And on the attention side, every answer was yes, and on the hyperactivity side, all but one was a yes. And she was like, all right, we need to have an evaluation, you know. So I doubt that surprises you guys because of how all over the place I am in my videos, but I'm hoping that I'm going to get this under control because my life has been very stressful living with this and trying to pretend like everything's fine. But now I have an answer and now I'm happy about it. So the last question is there a story you've always wanted to tell but never had a reason to tell it? And tell it now. So I'm sitting here thinking and thinking and thinking, and I could not think of anything, and I thought that maybe I was going to skip this question because I have the absolute worst memory, like the worst memory. I can't remember anything. If someone brings something up and starts talking about it, then it'll kind of jog my memory a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. But if I'm just sitting here trying to think of something, I can't, and I don't remember any of my childhood, and I think it has something to do with ADHD. But I'm not positive about that. But anyway, I just couldn't think of anything. And then what was that? I was listening to the Mile Higher podcast that Kendall Ray does, and they were saying something about how they thought they were being followed and whatever, and that just kind of jogged a memory of mine that I had of a hiking trip me and my husband took, and that's the only story I could think of, so I'm gonna tell it because it's kind of funny. So I'll start by saying that I am like seriously into like true crime, and I watch tons of like things about missing people and serial killers and just all the things, you know, so my brain is always in that place where like something is gonna happen. And I know it's ridiculous, but I get so into it. So the story I want to tell is there was one night where Brian and I wanted to just have a little date night, and we really didn't have, you know, the money to actually go on any sort of date or anything like that. So my mom came over to watch the kids, and we decided that we were just going to go hiking on the trails in the town that we live in, which it's not really hiking. It's really just walking through the woods on trails, but it's fun. So we were walking through these trails, and Brian decided that we didn't need to take a picture of the map because we could do it. It was fine because we've been on the trails before, and we were like, all right, yeah, let's just go. So we're walking around, and it was getting dark. The mosquitoes were awful. Like, we went through like so much bug spray, just like spraying it around us because they were all around our heads and everything. And we're walking down these trails, and we see this guy on a bike, and we're like, oh, hey, can you tell us, do you go on these trails a lot? Can you tell us how to get to the exit of the trails? So he's like, oh yeah, keep going straight, and then take like your sharp left. That will kind of take you back the other way. And we were like, all right, cool, thank you. So as we're walking, we just hear like leaves crunching, and we look like down the hill where there's no trail, and this guy is just riding his bike alongside, like next to us as we're walking. So we're both walking down, and he's going like so slow, just like almost like keeping up with us. And then I said to my husband, I was like, watch, when we get to where we need to make this turn, he's just going to be sitting there waiting for us. I bet you. And it was like dark at this point, and we're like, we need to get out of here. We get to the corner, and sure enough, the guy is coming out on the bike at the same time. And we're like, well, why did he tell us to go that way if he's coming this way on that trail? Like, this doesn't make any sense. So we like, and then he kept going, like said hello and kept going. And I was like, this is really creepy. Like, why is he stalking us? So then we're standing there for a while, and we hear like talking, and there's like this other couple that was up on a different trail, and they're talking to the guy on the bike, and she was like, oh, they're still down there, they're right there. And they were like talking about us, and it was like really weird. So we're like, we need to get the fuck out of here. So we started just going down the trail the way he said, and eventually like we made our way out. But the entire time, like, I was literally sitting here thinking like, this is a whole like setup, all these people know each other. I had a text ready for my mom saying like, if anything happens, it was the guy on the bike in the trails, all this, and nothing happened. We were fine. We went home, and that was the end of it. But it was like, as it was happening, like, I held it together, but I was very scared inside, and it was interesting. But that's one story I had to tell because that's just how my mind works. Like, anytime anything's happening, I'm always like thinking about all the bad things that are going to happen, all the bad people, like all the, that's the way I think. Yeah, so that was the little story I had for this. And I am going to tag some of you below, but I want to encourage any influencer to kind of do this tag, any Beautuber, and just kind of open up a little bit and tell, I mean, it's not anything crazy, and like I said, I'm willing to go more in depth with everything. I just don't think this video was the right time for that. I want a dedicated video for, you know, kind of my story a little bit. So let me know what you guys think about that. I tag all of you to do this video, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you go and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.